All right, guys, we're back at the penetration station for another penetration test. And today we're going to be testing high FOC or extreme FOC arrow and how many water jugs it can penetrate. Right here we have our arrow, the Black Eagle Carnivore. It is a 250 spine. The total arrow weight is 1,210 grains. And you can see here the FOC is a whopping about 26%. From the knock point to the tip, most of the weight of that 1,210 grains is in the front here. I think in the front portion we have about 800 grains total right up here. So that should make for an ultimate penetrator. According to the Ashby studies, what gives most penetration is where the weight of the arrow is. Is it spread throughout the whole shaft? Is it on the back end? Is it on the front end? Apparently the front end is going to give you more penetration than if it was dispersed evenly throughout the whole arrow. But we're going to test that today because I'm under the assumption that that's not going to be the case. A few months back, we did a penetration test with the same arrow, same broadhead, same fletchings, only the shaft itself, or the total arrow weight was 3,328 grains, I believe. And the weight was not on the front, it was spread throughout the whole shaft. And that arrow went through 16 milk jugs like they weren't even there. So right here we have 17 milk jugs. We're going to see if this extreme FOC arrow can defeat the extreme heavy arrow. So we're going to put it to the test. Leave a comment down below to see if you think that an extreme FOC arrow will outpenetrate just a heavy mass arrow in general, heavy mass in general. I'm under the assumption it's not, so let's see. We'll be using the PSC Yeoman as usual. 31-inch straw, 80 pounds. Without further ado, let's take it to the penetration station. That did not go through. It like deviated.
Weird.
It must have been like too heavy or something. Yeah, look at what on earth happened. Oh my god. That's kind of dangy.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So we hit right here in the front. Went through 1, 2, and then we started to deviate. 3. Really started to go to the right. 4. Now we're really far in the corner. And then we basically missed this one. Just skimmed the bottom of these two. So we really only went through 4. I think something, and then we deviated all the way over here. It hit the fence. Barely stuck in though, so must have ricocheted. So having that much weight up front made it pretty unstable in my opinion. We'll try it again though and see what happens. Okay, so our first shot totally went through 4 and just deviated to the left. So we'll try it again. We'll try it one more time. But I'm thinking that the high FOC is just too light in the back, that it's too whimsical. It's not going to stay on a straight path. which is very strange because according to the Ashby studies, the higher the FOC, the harder it should be to deviate. It's more likely to keep going straight, and the weight of the arrow being up towards the front is supposed to pull it through the objects it's hitting. So let's try it again. There we go. Must have pulled it or something. Okay, there we have it. High FOC arrow. That was much better. It didn't quite. It definitely dropped. You could tell the weight being in the front of the arrow. I feel like it dropped. It's gonna more likely to drop quicker than if the weight wasn't. But I mean, look. Count the jugs here. 17, 16, 15, 14. So we entered the 14th. We only went through 13 technically. So only through 13. Into the 14th. Boy. I don't know, guys. That heavy micro went through more jugs than that. I think it went through 14. Went through one more jug. Inserts aren't screwed in pretty good. I don't know. I mean, that's a high FOC arrow. 26%, I think. That's an extreme FOC arrow according to the Ashby studies and research. But that way underperformed as far as penetrating these jugs compared to the heavy 3,300 half-pound arrow that we shot. But we just barely entered the 14th. We really only went through 13. Not as impressed with the high FOC as I initially thought it would perform. It underperformed in my opinion. Tell me what you think. Tell me if that's good or not. I don't know if high FOC is really as important as for penetration as been made out to be. It seems to me that what's more important is mass, just in general, like a heavier arrow, and not just any heavier arrow, an arrow that has a larger diameter so you can fit more weight in it. As long as the broadhead is bigger than the shaft, I think, that makes sense. So we're gonna have more tests. Obviously, I want to test the heavy half-pound arrow. I can fit 19 jugs on here, so I'll throw 2 more jugs on there and see if it just goes through all 19. That's something that'll be interesting. And then obviously we need to test. Apparently another theory is that it's about the broadhead, not about the weight of the arrow. So we're going to test a fixed blade broadhead like this, single bevel, 2-blade, against a much heavier arrow with a mechanical, and then a much heavier arrow with a field point, and see if the fixed blade broadhead, 2-blade, can out penetrate a heavy arrow with a mechanical blade or with a field point. Because I'm still convinced that it's the weight of the arrow, not the broadhead, not the FOC. Even when we got it straight through, it didn't perform as well as both the other arrows I shot that were heavier with less FOC. So yeah, leave a comment, hit that like button, smash that sub, and we're going to be putting out more of these tests. Very interesting. Very interesting.